Welcome to the opening of the 2005 season as Bridgestone presents the Champ Car World Series, powered by Ford.
Welcome back, my friends, to the show that never ends. We're so glad you could attend. Come inside, come inside. There behind the glass stands a real blade of grass. Be careful as you pass. Move along, move along. Come inside, the show's about to start. Yeah, easy to play along. Rest assured, don't get your eyes wide. This show, it happened out at the show. It's a dynamo. You gotta see the show. It's rock and roll.
Welcome to the 31st running of the Toyota Grand Prix of Long Beach on NBC Sports.
And we are live on the streets of Long Beach on NBC Sports, coverage of the Champ Car World Series. More than 100,000 fans have gathered for the first round of the brand new season. What a treat we have for you. 4 champions in the lineup for the first time since 1998. We're already racing. We've run 3 laps, and Bruno Junqueira has taken the lead from pole sitter Paul Tracy just moments ago. This is Junqueira in the Pacific Air Newman Haas car. Hello, everyone. With Derek Daly, I'm Rick Benjamin. Calvin Fish and Jan Beekes are on pit road for us. Great to have you with us from the streets of Long Beach for the 31st time. Now, the 2 Forsyth teammates are second and third. Mario Dominguez, who qualified third, has run there. Junqueira was quick Friday, Derek. Didn't take him long to track down Tracy and get by.
And that is a surprise to me because Tracy was so good yesterday. He was the fastest man on the warm-up this morning. Don't know if he made a slight mistake or not because he has dropped back as opposed to Bruno pulling away, because Bruno was a little bit ahead of Dominguez about 2 laps earlier. But Junqueira is very quick around Long Beach. Bourdais has even said he thinks he's quicker than he is. Can you imagine Bourdais admitting that Junqueira might be quicker than he is around this particular street circuit here at Long Beach that I've never seen look as good.
Newfound confidence after a championship a year ago. Everyone was always concerned about the green flag, the start, and the run to turn 1 at Long Beach. Let's take you back a couple of moments and show you what happened when the green came out as we watch Tracy here trying to chase down Bruno Junqueira.
Oh, Tracy locks up a wheel, and is that what made him go wide a little bit? That was some of the action earlier on. That was Tagliani going down inside Timo Glock.
That was lap 2, I believe, when we had some movement down into turn 1. The start was very clean. Now, Champ Car World Series officials have changed their approach a little this year, Derek. They are not going to wave off a start unless it's extremely ragged, and Tracy got the drop on Junqueira.
The new man to call those signals is Tony Cotman. He is very experienced New Zealander. He said he does not want these races to be won or lost through the officials. He's going to let it sort itself out as much on the racetrack as possible. And we had a very clean start to the start of the season.
Paul Tracy was our Bridgestone Pole Award winner earlier this weekend. Knocked off a new lap record here at Long Beach on Saturday. Track record for Tracy, 1 minute, 7.485 seconds. That's nearly 105 miles an hour. He collects the Bridgestone Pole Award for the first race of the year.
I believe Paul Tracy did make a mistake which had allowed Junqueira to go by. Reason I can back that up, he just set the fastest lap of the race at a 1 minute 10.4, which is 0.3 of a second faster than Bruno Junqueira. This could give us a real street fight here, because catching a driver on a street circuit is one thing. Having the room to try and force your way by is something completely different.
And will Paul Tracy be patient enough? A year ago, Derek, we saw him, frankly, make some mistakes when the car wasn't as good, perhaps, as he was. He tried to overcompensate, I think, sometimes.
I don't know, Tracy and patience, those 2 words don't really go together. You don't just associate him with being patient.
Tracy in second spot. Junqueira is the leader. Bruno in that 2 car. the car from the Newman Haas stables, the Pacific Air machine. He's been the runner-up in the Champ Car World Series standings the last 3 seasons. 2 victories a year ago. Badly wants a title here in 2005.
Frustration for Bruno there on the left side. Look at Dominguez, middle of your picture right there. Do you know what the funny thing about this? Mario Dominguez arrived with his helmet bag. First thing he had to do on Thursday, introduce himself to his team. Hello, I'm Mario. I'm your driver. He had never met any of the guys before.
Many unique perspectives here in Long Beach. Calvin Fish has one of them for us.
Well, Rick, one of the great characteristics of Champ Car racing is the diversity of the race circuits that they run on. They run on ovals, they run on road courses, and of course they run here on the streets. And here in the grandstands this weekend, close to 200,000 people have jammed these to do one thing, and that's to watch these guys, some of the best race car drivers in the world. John Kira, Tracy, Dominguez, Bourdais, Wilson. These guys then grappling with up to 800 horsepower coming off this here pond, torturing those Bridgestone tires up for 180 miles an hour. There's no traction control. This is pure racing, pure adrenaline. It's the Long Beach Grand Prix.
Wow. Calvin, I'm sure you weren't standing on the racetrack, but that looked like you were standing right on the racetrack as those boys whizzed by.
Could have reached out and given someone a high five on the way by from his vantage point down there. Junqueira continues to lead. We've put 7 laps of 81 on the scoreboard here at the Grand Prix of Long Beach. We are getting ready for quite a battle. Tracy second, Dominguez and Bourdais, and we have a problem on the racetrack. One car is off.
And the wing is off.
Yep, looks as though it might be. It's one of the MyJack cars.
Nelson Philippe. Nelson, I mean, he's well buried. This is the MyJack Conquest. See, the wing gone completely off the stays. This is one of our 18-year-old drivers, teammate to Andrew Ranger.
Full course caution for the first time today on lap 7. We've got another look at it for you.
Okay, in the brake zone. Oh, he gets us. Oh, his teammate comes down the inside. Whoa!
That's young Andrew Ranger, also 18, and a rookie in the yellow MyJack car.
Wow, talk about getting dumped into the boonies by your brother. Man, I can't believe he did that. And Ranger almost took himself off the road.
Now, did Nelson Philippe just not give him enough room there, Derek, or did Ranger go someplace where he shouldn't have gone?
No, Ranger went someplace he shouldn't have stuck his nose. Have a look here. In fact, Nelson Philippe, watch him right here. You see him begin to wiggle slightly in the brake zone, but Ranger has his mind made up. I'm going down the inside. Going down the inside. Now I can't stop. Can't stop. My teammate turns in. Oh no! Hope the team owner isn't watching. How can I blame somebody else? Oh, I'm going to get sideways myself. Boom! He's in the wall. I escape. Man, how am I going to make an excuse about this?
Well, it looks like they're going to refire Nelson Philippe's number 34 MyJack Conquest machine. He perhaps can drive it around the pit road. They can put the wing back on and get him back in competition. We will see. Meantime, Junqueira leads Tracy. You're watching Champ Car on NBC.
Every team gets the same engine. So what makes the difference?
Drive fast. Really fast.
Driver motivation. Now that's moving you forward.
The wheel goes round and round, we keep it moving. And they don't slow down. The wheel goes round and round, we keep it moving.
Round and round.
The wheel goes round and round, keep it moving.
Oh, yeah.
Get up to a $100 mail-in rebate on select Bridgestone tires, April 7th through May 7th, only at your local participating Bridgestone retailer.
Our coverage of the Champ Car World Series on NBC being brought to you today by Toyota. Choose any direction as long as it's moving forward. And by Bridgestone Tires, a passion for excellence. Welcome back to Long Beach, a packed house as always by the harbor side here with Derek Daly. I'm Rick Benjamin. Great to have you with us for the Champ Car World Series season opener on NBC Sports. On pit road for us, Jan Beekes, Calvin Fish. A couple of cars deciding to head in early. We knew Philippe would come in to get the wing replaced.
Okay, but here's what's going on. The pit windows that we've had for the last couple of seasons are now gone. So the people who are on the back half of the grid will take a chance and dive in. They go out of sequence, but they are hoping now that the yellow flags will work in their favor as they make early pit stops.
Jimmy Vasser among those on pit road. Vasser not happy with his car. He was 15th last time by in the Gulf car. We saw Marcus Marshall in the Aussie Vineyards #5 from Derek Walker's team.
And Derek Walker is one of the strategic masterminds of racing. So he is going to use a philosophy that he used in Australia last year with David Besnard to get his man leapfrog up the front using track position. Yeah?
Nelson Philippe has brought his race car on the racetrack. There is a new rule this year. You may not be on the racetrack if you do not have a set of front and rear wings. In the past, sometimes people would kind of limp around the racetrack until the team had an opportunity to have a rear wing ready. In this case, you may not go back on the racetrack until they fully repair Nelson Philippe's machine.
Still working on the MyJack Conquest car. New sponsorship on that 34 car about to be announced when we get to Monterrey, Mexico in the month of May. Field single file starting to pick up the pace, heading to the backstretch, looking for a restart. 9 of 81 laps are complete. We'll go green on lap number 10. Junqueira leading Tracy. Dominguez and Bourdais. And Derek, looked like Tracy was starting to reel Junqueira back in right before the caution.
Made a comment that Tracy had a faster lap than Junqueira. Junqueira then came right back faster than Paul Tracy. So right now, from what we see lap times, Junqueira appears to be able to match Tracy's speed. And even if you get close to Tracy's, oh, look at that, concertina. If you get close to him, it's just hard to pass when you're in the concrete confines here of Long Beach.
Bourdais is 4th in line in the McDonald's #1, the defending series champion. Justin Wilson, 2nd-year driver, Formula One veteran from Britain, 5th in that red and white #9. Ready for a restart at Long Beach.
They go down to first gear, they go all the way up through 7 forward gears and blast down this long straight. This was almost 184 miles an hour during qualifying on the board with Bourdais. That is Dominguez right beside him, right in front of him.
Dominguez up ahead there, 3rd in the 7 for the Indec Forsyth team. Did Tracy get around? He did. Paul Tracy grabbed the lead from Bruno Junqueira on that restart. So Tracy boldly takes the point back once again as we go green in Long Beach.
The bravery of the man on somewhat cold tires. Paul Tracy, not even one lap into this restart, and he managed to pull a move on Bruno Junqueira, and he's only 3 or 4 corners into this first lap when he makes the move.
Paul Tracy has 4 Long Beach Grand Prix victories, including the last 2 wins. He would love to make it a hat trick on the streets of Long Beach today. Got another look for you at how Tracy retook the lead moments ago as we watch cars come down the backstretch. This is for the restart.
Oh, with the brake zone, man, into the first corner, and Tracy did what he did to Bourdais last season, or last year.
Look at how he forced Junqueira offline and made him go for the race.
Doesn't matter. Tracy got down the inside and took the apex line, forces Junqueira's hand. Man, I'm surprised Bruno allowed him so much room inside for Tracy to make that move, but opportunistic move for Paul Tracy.
Still early, 11 laps complete, 70 to go, a lot of time left. Junqueira, though, is a guy who seems to like to be out in front, as does Tracy. He doesn't like to run 2nd or 3rd.
Okay, so all these boys now have not made a pit stop, so they're all probably going to look at each other to see when the leader goes in and potentially follow him. Around lap 28 to 31 is about the pit stop time. Calvin?
Here with the general manager for Forsyth Racing, Neil Mickelwright. Neil, it looked like Paul was ready to get back in the lead. Did he use the push-to-pass button there?
Yeah, we used about 10 seconds of push-to-pass on that restart. We had a bit of a glitch earlier there on about lap 3 or 4 when we accidentally hit the pit lane cruise button and consequently got behind Junqueira. But we're back in the lead now, so we'll see what we can do with it.
Looks like you guys have regrouped over the off-season, ready for 05.
The whole team's worked very hard, drivers included, to try and do the best job that we can. So we're going to take it to them.
All right, Paul Tracy looking for win number 5 here on the streets of Long Beach.
Now Forsyth Championship Racing right now taking it to him, 1st and 3rd. And it has to upset or certainly not please a team like Jerry Forsyth's squad. Newman Haas has been the dominant team the last couple of years.
Yes, they have, but on the streets of Long Beach, you come armed with a Paul Tracy, with a man who knows how to use push to pass. I know that. I mean, it's actually, push to pass this year is called officially the Cosworth
Power to pass.
Power to pass.
A little different name for a device that was invented by Cosworth and by Champ Car officials last year, and it added a lot to the show. It gave drivers an opportunity to have a little extra, 50 extra horsepower, generally.
50 horsepower, taking the power from 750 all the way to 800 horsepower, and they used them very well with Tracy at the end of that brake zone. The McDonald's car with Bourdais, a lot of suspension movement in that car. You don't often see that these days, but Bourdais now, that's Justin Wilson. You see him right behind him. Wilson has gone very well all weekend long here, quicker than his teammate A.J. Allmendinger, who's running 11th, but Wilson is a threat to win one of these races pretty soon.
Justin was very good last year in the relatively underfunded MyJack Conquest team. He's moved to Motorsport this year, and he has been the leading driver as we watch several of the cars work down the front straightaway here. There's A.J. Allmendinger in that number 10, the white and yellow Motorsport machine with Beijing 06 on that side pod this weekend. The series will be going to China for a race for the first ever time come next season. New feature for you in 2005, Behind the Wheel. We're going to meet these Champ Car stars up close and personal. A.J. Allmendinger is the first driver that we will show you and help you learn more about this season. Allmendinger's favorite movie, Old School. He's got a Toyota Tundra at home. Listens to Usher on his CD player. Says Lance Armstrong is his favorite athlete, and we'll see and hear a lot more of A.J. Allmendinger today and throughout the 2005 Champ Car World Series season.
See him now chasing Ryan Hunter-Reay. Ryan Hunter-Reay, another part of the change this year, moved over to Rocket Sports. Lost most of Friday's practice session with fuel problems, but the leaders are beginning to settle in. Dominguez having a good run here. One of the questions great people talked about earlier is all these new young guys into Champ Car racing. Very little testing. This physically is one of the most difficult racetracks to survive the full length of the race. That will be interesting in the last 20 laps.
Roberto Junqueira second, chasing Paul Tracy through the streets of Long Beach. More Champ Car coming up.
It's not that you never saw yourself in a car like this. It's that you never saw yourself in a car like this so soon.
Huh.
The Mazda 3 sedan and 5-door. Rethink what's possible.
Swabbies, Siberia's still half an ocean away.
At the pace you're drumming, we'll never get there.
Oh, we'll sink.
Oh, can't you row without me drumming?
You'd be keeping the beat if you drank a Red Bull.
Red Bull?
Yeah, the energy drink. It vitalizes body and mind. You're all pumped up.
So's me brain. Forget Siberia. Let's do Bermuda.
What a genius.
Or even better, let's do Hawaii. It's boy for everybody.
Red Bull gives you wings. I need some suntan lotion.
How tough does your truck make you?
A special tribute to the legendary Ray Charles with Saleh and Peltier, Brian Boitano, and more. Ray Charles Tribute on Ice, next Saturday, 4 Eastern, NBC.
The world's most daring cowboys try to tame one of nature's fiercest beasts, 2,000 pounds of fire-breathing bull. The U.S. Army Invitational, next Sunday, 4 Eastern, NBC.
It says the dawning of the
Four great champions of Bridgestone presents the Champ Car World Series powered by Ford. Cristiano D'Amata returning this season after 2 years for Toyota in Formula One. D'Amata 8th now. He's with the PKV team, the Bell Micro 21 car. Got his helmet camera today, and we'll take a look through his eyes, through his viewpoint. But D'Amata trying to fight that race car and hustle it toward the front. Hey, coming up on Wednesday, a premiere of Revelations for you on NBC. It's a brand new miniseries event starring Bill Pullman. He's a Harvard-trained doctor whose world of science will be put to the test. At the end of Days of Lives, the ultimate battle of good and evil is joined. Revelations, Wednesday night at 9/8 Central, only on NBC. With Derek Daly, I'm Rick Benjamin. Welcome to the streets of Long Beach. Great to have you with us. The 31st Toyota Grand Prix of Long Beach. Up front, it's Paul Tracy, who is on the pole. Gave up the lead early. We heard Neil Mickelwright say, hit the wrong button in the cockpit. Lost the lead to Joe Carroll.
Yeah, pit lane speed limiter, which basically cuts the power of the engine. Bruno goes by. He gets his act together, pushes the COS button, which is like the NOS button, spelled with a C, Cosworth. COS button, got 50 extra horsepower to pull ahead of John Kerry in a great braking move. Jan?
Well, Derek, you asked the question, well, what about Bruno Junqueiro? Did he press the Cosworth power to pass button? I checked with the Newman Haas team. The answer is no. I said, very simple, why wasn't he on the button? He said, well, we're saving it for later. But I think the real answer is it's very easy as a driver to know to press the button offensively, but it's much different to remember to do it defensively. I don't think he expected Paul Tracy to make that move. Now they do have more power to pass for later in the race. Unfortunately, it may be a little too little, too late.
Very good point, Jan, because that was a push. He should have used it as a push and not to pass button to keep him ahead of Tracy. Because of what we said earlier on, even if he is quicker, it is so difficult to make a pass at racing speeds when you have to be so accurate between these concrete walls.
Now, one of the things, if you're not familiar with the Champ Car World Series and the power to pass button that was introduced last year, the drivers get 60 seconds of that extra 50 horsepower, Derek, and using it wisely, knowing when to go to the button and when to save some, that's a key part of the strategy here.
And of course, what happened was most people understood you better use it right off the start line on the run to the first corner, or you can get left behind. Tracy used it last year to perfection to put himself into the lead and pretty much gave himself an advantage that he was never to lose.
Back to Cristiano D'Amata, our Lucas Oil helmet cam. Let's listen, a little talk about strategy. A little earlier, Cristiano D'Amata on the radio with his crew chief and team manager, Steve Krisaloff.
If you can get a little better mileage, we can go one more extra lap. 174.
Actually, that is Jim McGee, the new general manager of that team. So see the Bell micro car there with D'Amata right ahead of Ronnie Bremner. He's asking him if he can just get the speed without using all the gas, get one more lap with the car nice and light with hot tires before he makes the fuel stop, that it could give him an advantage. Basically, that car does not handle very well this weekend, and it's been a struggle for Cristiano. Jan?
When you talk about and you hear on the radio 174, that's their target number for fuel economy. We're hearing it up and down pit road. 1.81 we've heard. What happens is the teams call their driver and they have a readout on the dash as to their average mile per gallon. When they cross the start-finish line, when they call you and say 1.74, your job is to drive as fast as you can, as long as you don't go under that number, so you can make an extra lap.
Fuel economy important here, even though it's only a 160-mile race.
Those of you at home who have a regular road car, you get 19 or 20 miles to the gallon, and you complain. Think about if you owned an Indy car, and they get 1.8 miles to the gallon, and they're trying to get 1.74 miles to the gallon. Of course, it is methanol, it is alcohol, but that they drink fuel at a ferocious rate, these cars.
Watching the battle for the lead, Tracy is your leader, Junqueira second, Dominguez third, maybe the most impressive and the leading rookie so far. This is Timo Glock from Germany in car number 8, the Rocket Sports Carbon. It's sponsored by Deutsche Post, a whole new livery on that car. Calvin Fish with more.
Well, certainly he's the most impressive of this new batch of rookies, and Paul Gentilozzi, you got to be happy with the performance of Timo, but right now you're looking at the lap times. Is there a problem with the car?
Well, I think what happened as a rookie, we started him on the option tire, the red tire. There were stickers. You usually get a little more pressure climb that caused the car to be loose. He's concerned he had a flat tire. That means he's thinking about it.
Certainly qualified very well. I know in Tesson he was sensational. You're expecting a lot from him this year, Paul.
Well, we're hoping, Rocket Sports has worked hard to have two great drivers in between Ryan and Timo. We think we've got that. Right now, Timo's in front. We'll be all right.
Good luck, mate.
Thanks, guys.
Timo Glock in 6th.
Sponsored by Deutsches Post, which is basically the German post office. They have a speed academy to develop their young driver. This is the product. F1. Not a position for him right now. Comes over here. He's only 23 years of age, making a great name for himself. I'm going to wave the flag for Germany as an ambassador for that country around the world because they have supported his career. Come on, America.
Ryan Hunter-Reay, one of the Americans in the field, the other Rocket Sports driver in 10th. We'll be back with more coverage of Bridgestone presents the Champ Car World Series powered by Ford after these messages. And we'll join Al Trautwig for an ADT Security NBC Sports update.
Get up to a $100 mail-in rebate on select Bridgestone tires, April 7th through May 7th, only at your local participating Bridgestone retailer.
What's holding you back? The always affordable Toyota Corolla S. Now that's moving you forward.
You think you know?
64 players.
Just one-on-one, you and me.
Every single top player is here.
Every pot's going to be contested.
A lot of money at stake. The great players come out, baby.
You think you know? I think you're bluffing.
Welcome to the ADT Security NBC Sports Update. Here's your host, Al Trautwig.
Welcome to our New York studio. We get you back to our coverage of the Toyota Grand Prix from Long Beach, California in just a moment. Even though the baseball season is barely a week old, there was a game of note today in Atlanta. Pedro Martinez of the New York Mets making his second start of the season against the Atlanta Braves' John Smoltz. The Mets entering today's play as the only team in baseball without a win. Now, John Smoltz, who was a shaky pitcher in his first start, was brilliant today, tying a career high with 15 strikeouts. Pedro Martinez in his second start, matching him all the way, allowing one run in a complete game performance. The game changed in the 8th when Carlos Beltran, the Megabucks free agent signed by the Mets, delivered a two-run home run into the right field seats. It spurred the Mets on to hit two more home runs and beat the arch-enemy Atlanta Braves by a final score of 6-1. And one other baseball note, a scary moment in the Bronx during the Yankees' 7-2 loss to the Baltimore Orioles. Off-season free agent Carl Pavano was hit in the head by Melvin Mora's line drive. Pavano, who remained standing, left the game immediately and was taken to the hospital for a precautionary CAT scan that came back negative. He will travel to Boston with the team for tomorrow's game. A reminder, for the latest baseball news, scores, and stats, log on to NBCSports.com. Plus, check out analysis and predictions for every Major League team this season. It's all at NBCSports.com. In tennis, the women are in Amelia Island, Florida for the Bausch & Lomb Championships. And today's final featured defending champion Lindsay Davenport against Italy's Silvia Farina Ilia, who was playing in her first final of the year. This is how things wound up. 7-5 in the first set, 7-5 in the second set. The powerful forehand of Lindsay Davenport, the world's #1, coming through when she needed it for the championship in Florida. That'll do it from New York, and we'll see you a little bit later. Now back to our coverage of the Toyota Grand Prix from Long Beach, California.
This has been the ADT Security NBC Sports Update. ADT Security Services, the world leader in home and business security.
Back with more of the Toyota Toyota Grand Prix of Long Beach on NBC Sports. I'm Rick Benjamin, Derek Daly alongside. We're 25 laps in, Derek. Paul Tracy has been the dominant force. Bruno Junqueira can't stay with him. The gap 3.3 seconds as they head to turn 1.
Tracy and Junqueira have exactly the same to 1,000th of a second fast laps in this race. Believe it or not, Wilson is the fastest man on the racetrack on the last particular lap. Jan Beekes.
And we're getting calls from the cars, in particular from the Newman Haas camp, and you're looking at your second place for Bruno Junqueira, says the tires are going away. Now what that means is they've started on the reds, as you call them, Derek. And we've heard from a lot of different drivers that they're starting to lose adhesion. The track is getting slippery on the reds. Many of them are calling to the pits and say, the next pit stop, I want the blacks or the standard Bridgestones.
Which is a regulation. You must use at least for one of your stints the blacks and the reds, blacks being a bit slower. I don't see Tracy slowing down. Well, Tracy did a 10.6, 1 minute 10.6 on his last lap. Bruno did a 10.3, a little bit faster. Dominguez was actually the fastest man on that last lap. So there, it's a bit cat and mouse right now. One's fast one lap, another guy's fast the next lap. But I don't see a big drop off for Junqueira.
No,
don't see it.
Checking the splits last time around, Junqueira picked up half a second on Tracy, so he's got the whip out here. Tracy's slowing down a little bit, it appears, although he had a substantial lead.
We expect pit stops to be around 28 to 30 laps.
One of the first cars in, Timo Glock headed to pit road, running 7th for the Rocket Sports team. Calvin Fish.
Well, he was one of those drivers struggling on the red side. They've gone to the standard setup, waiting on fuel. No chassis adjustment. Good stop by the Rocket Sport team. 11.8 second pit stop. Very impressive indeed by the Rocket Sport team.
David Watson is his engineer. Another move to that team. I would say this team is just absolutely thrilled with his performance this weekend here. New culture, new racing series, new racing cars, and he ran that well.
As we watch Tracy, the former series champ, leading here, 26 laps on the board. That seems like an early stop, Derek.
Yes.
We're hearing teams say 28, maybe 30 laps before stop.
And that's a major key, because now here's the disadvantage to Glock. He's now on cold tires. Worst of all, he's on a full tank of gas, and Tracy is not going to be too far behind him here as light fuel, hot tires, just smoking him by probably a second and a half or 2 seconds a lap. So that was very costly for Timo Glock to make that early pit stop.
One of the signature scenes here at Long Beach. You got a glimpse of Tracy going by the fountain curves, turns 2, 3, and 4 here on the streets of Long Beach. So Paul Tracy grabbed the lead at the drop of the green earlier, made an error, hit the wrong button on the steering wheel, hit the pit road speed limiter, lost the lead to Junqueira, got it right back. He's been out front ever since.
For those of you who are curious as to what all those tire tracks are across that piece of road, there is more zigzag figure-8 tire tracks all over this racetrack, because over the last 2 days we've had phenomenal drifting exhibitions. For those of you who have never seen drifting, it just had people just shouting and screaming here in support of cars that basically look out of control, fully in control. Look at this.
He's about to be lapped. Timo Glock, first car to pit road. That's the yellow and red Rocket Sports number 8. Here comes the Index Foresight 3 of leader Paul Tracy, about to drop him a lap down.
Yeah, and there's the problem. This is such a competitive series. If you come out of step with the leaders and make early pit stops, it is hugely costly in time. Not what you stop, not the time you spend on the pit road, but now the time you spend on full tanks when a leader like Tracy is just flying with a lightweight car compared to your truck.
Checking the lap times last time around, Bruno Junqueira took another 10th off Tracy's lead, now 2.4 seconds. So Junqueira methodically trying to chop that lead down, perhaps get a break on pit road and get an opportunity to challenge for the lead here.
And now the key was, look at Tracy sawing away at the wheel there to try and stay ahead of Bruno. The rule on lapped cars is you will be told over the radio, be careful, the leader's trying to pass you. You will then be warned with a flag. If you still do not move over to let the leader go by, you will be given a stop and go penalty.
Now, some philosophers in the paddock were saying that might give guys a license to block a couple of times before getting the penalty.
Tracy will probably end up coming in. It's right now. He's in.
Calvin Fish.
Tracy makes his way down pit lane. Neil Micklewright guiding him in. We expect a slight front tire pressure change lower going to the standard tires.
Doing good. That's good on the mark. Just here and just go
going in, so we went as far as he did. I want you to reset your fuel meter and start getting ready. Get ready, get ready. Hold it, hold it, hold it, hold it. Go, 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 go. Watch the pit lane, watch the speed.
11 seconds before Tracy, brand new engineer this year, Eric Zito, but they're getting the job done once again.
While that was happening, Calvin, we had a stop also for Bruno Junqueira. No changes on the car, 11.5 seconds. It looked like they tried to be a little quicker on pit road. I thought maybe a short fill to try and pass Paul Tracy. That wasn't the case. The main reason, they wanted the black sidewalled Bridgestones.
So the cars that were in the lead coming out now, they've made green flag pit stops. No more mandatory windows. Stop when you need to here in the Champ Car World Series.
Dominguez and Bourdais now have an advantage. They can go a second a lap faster, at least maybe 2 seconds a lap faster than a Tracy or a Junqueira because they've stayed out longer. I don't know how long they can stay out. And also Tracy now and Junqueira are right in the middle of a freeway traffic jam that will not be to their advantage. Okay, Dominguez peels off. Bourdais now has a huge advantage.
And one of the advantages Newman Haas showed us last year, superior fuel economy in many cases. Dominguez in, Calvin.
We expect no chassis adjustment here. We'll do standard tires. That's the norm. They're going to go to standards for the middle. And then they'll go to the race for the final step. Slight front wing change. Bit more front wing, half a turn of wing, waiting on fuel. Dominguez away. Very impressive indeed. This man never met his team till Thursday. What a performance. Qualifying third and running at the front of the pack, Rick.
Sebastian Bourdais takes over the point in the McDonald's #1 series champion in 2004. 7 wins in 14 starts. Still on the Bridgestone Red Potenzas, Derek Daly. He's getting great mileage and his tires haven't given up as much yet.
Okay, this is
one car around. One car around at the head of the backstretch. It might have been Del Monte in that 41 again, and it is. Second time today that the new Jensen Motorsport entry, the Konica Minolta 41, has gone around and will have at least a local yellow.
Tony Cotman did tell us he was going to try and clean up as many as he could under local yellow. So he's got to get him turned around and get it fired, or he's going to be forced to go full course yellow as Bourdais comes in.
Race leader heading to pit road, coming your way on Deacus.
Option stuff going on. Full load of fuel, Brian. Right on the mark. Good stop here, guys.
Now, of course, the question is, did he get in before the pits were closed? That is obviously going to be ultra important for Bourdais. The stewards were being very careful.
Wait a minute, Seb. Just finishing.
They wanted to wait for fuel. That was 11-2, and we could see the fuel in the vent hose, meaning that that car is absolutely full, and it appears as though he did get in before they closed the pits. The crew is celebrating. That's what they wanted.
They caught it exactly right, Jan, because they just threw the full course yellow, just as we learned from the new director of operations for Champ Car, Tony Cotman. They had a local yellow out there. They've just gone full course.
Oh, there's the lead. Tracy just manages to catch the lead. Bourdais almost pulled it off. He stayed out a long time, ran longer than Tracy on a light fuel load. The question was, could he make the move and get the track position? We just caught a great picture there of Tracy just managing to hang on to the lead.
Now there was a full course yellow out. Did Tracy pass under the caution? We shall see. Paul Tracy has nipped in front of Sebastian Bourdais for now. Jimmy Vasser being shown in second spot. Remember, Vasser stopped very early during the first full course yellow here today. 31 of 81 laps are complete on the streets of Long Beach. We'll be back with more of the Bridgestone presents the Champ Car World Series powered by Ford after these messages and a word from our local NBC station.
You're curious to learn more about me. I'm a complicated man. On the one hand, I order off McDonald's dollar menu. Get the double cheeseburger and lots more. Very affordable. On the other hand, my friends have nicknamed me Helmet Head because I once got a helmet stuck on my head.
61.
I see you're intrigued.
Every 60 seconds, something cherished is lost. If only the right equipment were made available, such tragedies could be avoided. They say miracles happen every day. Well, when it comes to tying it down and keeping it down, that's what the all-new Toyota Tacoma's deck rail system is. A miracle. It may be the most important purchase you'll ever make.
The 2005 Motor Trend Truck of the Year. The all-new Tacoma. Now that's moving you forward.
Tonight, a battle outside the ring leads to the most anticipated fight yet.
I'm gonna do whatever it takes to win for my 2 kids.
All New Contender, NBC Tonight.
When news breaks, turn to NBC 30.
Breaking news we've been following all morning. Breaking news right now out of Ledyard.
Breaking news out of Hartford.
You can see that firefighters and police are still here on the scene.
Live at the scene as the story unfolds.
It's still not safe to go down this road.
It's a developing situation here. NBC 30 was first on the scene.
Covering the state's biggest stories.
We are following a number of developing stories for you live at 5.
Luckily, no one was inside the home when it exploded.
NBC 30 is Connecticut's news leader.
Chevy trucks. From the family of the most dependable, longest-lasting trucks on the road, like Silverado, Colorado, and Avalanche. Trucks you trust day in and day out. Now get 0% APR financing for qualified buyers plus 1,000 hot button bonus cash on 05 Chevy pickups like Colorado and select Silverado models. Chevy trucks. An American revolution. At your Connecticut Chevy dealer.
The results are in. The award-winning Ambassador of India has done it again. Ambassador of India was established 10 years ago. 9 of those 10 years, they've been selected Best Indian Restaurant in Hartford County. Ambassador of India features a full lunch buffet and a large dinner menu, featuring recipes from all over India. They're open 7 days a week and conveniently offer takeout. Check with management for their exclusive India Club. The Ambassador of India on Main Street in Glastonbury. It's worth the detour.
You're watching NBC 30, nominated for 12 New England Emmy Awards.
Welcome back to Long Beach. Moments ago, it looked like we might have had a lead change, Derek, but what happened here?
Bourdais is still technically in the pit lane. The blend line is on his left. Tracy's right. Tracy just about pulls it off to perfection. On board now with Sebastian Bourdais. He knows Tracy's coming down the straight. He's going as fast as he can to try and turn to the apex before Paul gets there. He now wants to do it. Oh, there's Tracy. Appears. He says, whoa. But the big advantage for Bourdais was it was yellow and nobody on hot tires could run him down and pass him.
So he gained some ground by pitting before pit road was closed. Well, Sebastian Bourdais didn't win the pole here this weekend, but he won several of them. In fact, he won the season-long Bridgestone Pole Award Championship last year with 8 pole positions. Paul Tracy, Junqueira, Carpentier, and Ryan Hunter-Reay were the first 5 in the Bridgestone Pole Award standings. Our Bridgestone passion for excellence. Jan Vikas.
With Al Spire, there was a lot of talk on the radios about the alternate tires. These are some alternate tires from Sebastian Bourdais' car. Al, take a look at this, because some people said it was greasing up. What's the case of this tire?
Well, Sebastian's probably our poster boy here because he got the best wear out of his alternate tires. He actually set his fastest race lap on lap 28 just before he pitted about lap 30. So his held up fine, but the softer tires, John, they are going to go off a little bit more than the harder ones. And that's just something the drivers have to manage during their stint.
Show us what you're looking for. If we get tight here and we look, how can you tell whether he's the poster boy or not?
Well, there's actually little wear indicators here. You can see these holes, so there's wear left in this tire, and that's what we look at right away when the tires come in, and there's a nice wear pattern on this tire. So again, for Sebastian, the alternates work fine. And of course, the timing of the pit stop could have been better.
And as a matter of fact, we're going green. Thank you, Al. Back to racing.
Jimmy Vasser is the restart leader because he stopped early, Derek. Didn't have to stop on this cycle. He's in front of Tracy Bourdais and Andrew Ranger, but here comes Tracy.
Oh, Tracy on the inside. Now, what's going to be interesting here is Bourdais is on another set of reds. He is on the softer tires. Tracy is not. So if Bourdais is able to use those tires that efficiently, he could use this extra grip to really hound our leader, Paul Tracy.
Running order top left of your screen as Bridgestone presents the Champ Car World Series powered by Ford. Riding with Sebastian Bourdais. Second spot, he nips by Jimmy Vasser, who has to settle into third in the PKV Gulfstream roll.
It just shows you the total Vasser's in. He's light on fuel compared to Bourdais and Tracy, and yet he is no match even in the brake zones. But now, Bourdais has cleared Vasser. He is on the faster Bridgestone Reds. He's going to run down Paul Tracy. This could be good.
Tracy Bourdais, Andrew Ranger next in line as we take a look at the 2004 Series champion, chasing the 03 title holder Tracy. Tracy trying for the hat trick here in the streets of Long Beach. He's won the last 2 of these races.
he is spectacular here. And he's also the type of driver that Bourdais knows, if you're going to try and make a move on Tracy, you better make it decisive. It's a bit like the old Mario Andretti days. If you wanted to make a move on Mario, he would chop your nose off if you didn't absolutely take the position away from him.
Spirifico offline down into turn 1, gives ground, slower car as we ride with Sebastian Bourdais. The Arena Football League on NBC. Coming up, the Drive to Arena Bowl 19 in Las Vegas underway. Chicago hoping to defend its home turf against the Colorado Crush. Others will see Las Vegas against Philadelphia. The AFL is on NBC next Sunday at 1 Eastern, 10 Pacific.
Hey, boys, hang on to your hollyhocks because Bourdais is all over Paul Tracy.
Tracy and Bourdais will be back with more in Long Beach.
This is it. Time to play. You're in the new Avalon on a magical day. If you want to move, if you have the need, step on the gas of this powerful steed. Its cruise control knows the traffic ahead, and 7 great airbags to help protect your head. Ventilated seats will keep you at ease, and automatic wipers to make rain a breeze. Suddenly, the world opens wide, for the reimagined Avalon is a wondrous ride. Now that's moving you forward.
Now you can have a front row seat at the greatest rock performances of all time. Hendrix at Woodstock. The Who at Monterey. The Stones on The Ed Sullivan Show. Time Life Video proudly presents The History of Rock. Now available for the first time on DVD.
How many more times?
This incredible collection includes all the legends of rock.
You wanna do?
Plus, you'll get rare behind-the-scenes footage, bonus features, and stories you've never heard before. Call now to own the history of rock. More than 4 hours of legendary performances on 2 DVDs for just $16.99 each. But wait, there's more. Call with your credit card and get a 3rd DVD absolutely free. That's right, a $16.99 value absolutely free. This is the first time all the classic rock legends are together in one DVD collection. Over 120 performances digitally remastered on 3 DVDs. And it's not available in stores.
Yeah, you really got me now.
So call with your credit card now and get over 120 live performances on 3 DVDs for just 2 installments of $16.99. Call now.
Call 1-800-642-7648 to order the history of rock and roll for 2 installments of just $16.99 plus shipping and handling, and receive a 3rd volume free when you use your credit card. Call now or order online at timelife.com.
You're watching Bridgestone presents the Champ Car World Series, powered by Ford.
While we were away from the streets of Long Beach, some wild action on the front straightaway. Sebastian Bourdais and Paul Tracy, Derek Daly, as you called it, wild action.
Brilliant in the brake zone is Bourdais. Goes down the inside. That was Paul Tracy's famous move. Tracy tries to come back. Realized he can't make it. On board. I'm sure he used push to pass. He's gaining. Down the inside. Boy, he flew by him, which was a surprise. Look at him grab a gear. Turns in. The reason he had to make hay and get by Tracy is if he's on the softer reds, he needs to get ahead and pull away and get advantage of these softer tires, because at the next stop, Bourdais goes on the slower, harder tires, and Tracy gets the faster reds.
We have 1 pit stop round left for these drivers today. 43 laps to go. Bourdais with the lead, Jan Bikas.
regards to Sebastian Bourdais, Derek, you're exactly right. That's what they've told him on the radio. They have told him to stand on it. They're not giving him a fuel number. They know that this is the stint on the Reds. They have to make hay, as you said. They're well aware of it. They're kind of cheerleading on the sidelines here in the pits. They know he has to build up a big gap. Remember, some drivers may not be able to use the Reds. It's just that Sebastian's car works very well on them. So as long as it does, they're taking advantage of it.
Now Bourdais showing you why he's the defending series champion. Started fourth, he's come to first here, coming up on halfway. While we have a moment, visit the series website, champcarworldseries.com. Click on Race Director. You can get many different camera views. Watch the action online 24/7 at champcarworldseries.com Race Director. Sebastian Bourdais looking off the nose of that Newman Haas #1, Derek Daly. He has taken advantage, exactly as you said, getting by Tracy. Tracy was holding him up, I think.
Yeah, stand on it. Nothing a driver loves more than the team to say, stand on it. Don't save fuel, use the car, use but don't abuse is how they would term it. But the McDonald's car is absolutely flying. Associate sponsorship from Centrix Financial on this car and Bruno's car this weekend. Of course, Centrix pretty much owns the Denver Grand Prix. We'll be there later on.
Jimmy Vasser running third in car number 12. He is headed toward the PKV pits, the Gulfstream Lola Jan-Vikas.
He was hoping that he should have changed his strategy and come in when we got that other full course caution. Of course, when he pitted early, he was on an alternate strategy. Andrew Ranger in here at the same time. So for Jimmy Vasser, he knows this is going to drop him way back in the order. He goes with the standard tires, taking all the fuel. Andrew Ranger also 12.8, about the same length stop for Andrew Ranger. Both these guys now on the other strategy, it just is not going to play out. They will drop way, way back.
At the moment, but everybody ahead of them is going to stop before them. They're going to have another 3 or 4 or 5 lap window to try and make up some advantage on the racetrack. Look at him streak away. He is now, on the last lap, he's now almost 3.5 seconds clear of Tracy. He is standing on it.
And of course, one thing that could come into play, if we have another full course yellow and you can save fuel, you can gain a lot of ground here. Perhaps short fill on your last stop, run a lighter race car at the end of the event.
Absolutely. Interesting. When we listened to Paul Tracy's radio on that last stop, they were telling him, while they were giving him gas, they were telling him Bruno's come in at the same time. So he wanted that information on Bruno at that particular time because he couldn't see him, he was behind him. Well, now he's going to know what Tracy's trying to do. I wonder, does Paul Tracy have the speed to match him on the last stint when he goes on the softer Bridgestone Reds?
So Sebastian Bourdais is the leader. Tracy and Junqueira second, third. Dominguez fourth. Justin Wilson runs fifth.
So Dominguez still trying to run down Bruno Junqueira. They're holding station, but Bourdais is the man right now they're chasing.
Now our Ford Built for the Road Ahead spotlight. Ford Champ Car stars with big hearts shared some of their time this week with the kids and families served by the Ronald McDonald House in West Hollywood. Champion Sebastian Bourdais, Jimmy Vasser, and Cristiano D'Amata, and 04 Series runner-up Bruno Junqueira brought some new Mustangs to the house Wednesday. The drivers spent quality time with the kids and their families and enjoyed a tour of the house as well. McDonald's is the official fast food restaurant of Champ Car. Ford is the official automotive partner of the Champ Car World Series. And McDonald's is working with Champ Car to build awareness of the Ronald McDonald House charities during the 2005 season.
Never thought I'd run to you. Better things to do.
Performance and handling like a car. All-wheel drive capability like an SUV. The totally new Ford Freestyle. One vehicle, endless possibilities. Ford, built for the road ahead.
Need new tires? Get to the big Bridgestone rebate event for up to a $100 mail-in rebate on select Bridgestone tires, April 7th through May 7th. Only at your local participating Bridgestone and Firestone retailer. Wherever you see this Bridgestone sign.
On the road with the Do Action Sports Tour, we saw a librarian whose car had broken down, so we gave her a quick jump. Then there were those poor bikini models who had a broken down hot tub. We helped a lot of people today.
The Do Action Sports Tour, the pro tour of action sports. Coming June to NBC.
Today's NBC Sports coverage of the Champ Car World Series is being brought to you by Ford. 6 all-new vehicles, each of them built for the road ahead. 43 of 81 laps complete on the streets of Long Beach with Derek Daly, Iverick Benjamin, Jan Beekes, and Calvin Fisher on pit road for us today. And we've got trouble for one of Dale Coyne's cars with 38 laps to go. This is Spirifico in car number 11. He had problems earlier. Derek was offline. This is on the front straightaway.
We believe it is a broken gearbox. Tony Cotman does not necessarily want to go full course yellow if he can avoid it. There it is right there. But they have somehow got to get that car down to a safety. No, it's got, you know
full
what?
Course
full
yellow.
Course yellow.
Just that time by when Bourdais went by the start-finish line. The 2 yellow flags displayed by J.D. Wilbur. While we have a moment, let's take you through the field and show you where your favorite driver is running here today as we are under caution. Sebastian Bourdais, the race leader, took the lead. Different pit strategy. He's doubled up on the alternate red tires. He's trying to run away from Paul Tracy. He'd built a 5.5-second advantage in the McDonald's Newman Haas number 1. But a lot of that's going to go away here under the full course caution. Second spot at the moment. We'll see him as he comes around to begin the run down the backstretch under yellow as the safety car is out. There's Paul Tracy, the former series champion, the Indec Forsyth number 3. The 2003 champion. He's won 2 of these Long Beach Grand Prix in a row, gunning for 3 straight, and it would be 5 wins overall if Tracy can get back by Bourdais and close the deal. Third spot belongs to the Pacific Air number 2 of Bruno Junqueira. Junqueira, the series runner-up last 3 years, started on the outside pole, led early today, and is back in third. Mario Dominguez is fourth. He's making his first start for the Indec Forsyth team in car number 7. That's the car that Patrick Carpentier had driven in the past. Dominguez just got here and met his team for the first time this weekend. He runs fourth. And a quiet fifth so far is Justin Wilson in car number 9. That's the Sandisk car for the Rousport team, and that is your top 5.
And running in 6th is young rookie Ronnie Bremer from Denmark. What a tremendous job he has done here this weekend. Really impressive in testing, just the one day, and the team said it was like he'd had a handful of days under his belt. They said he's unbelievable on cold tires. He cut his teeth here last year in the Toyota Atlantic Championship. Won at Denver, in fact, on the street, so he's very comfortable on this type of circuit, but he really cut his teeth back in Europe, running against the likes of Kimi Räikkönen, the Formula 1 star, in karts.
Alex Tagliani in the national colours of Australia. This is Team Australia. Aussie Vineyard sponsors this team. Tagliani, of course, run by Derek Walker. Tagliani, after the first day of practice, was just a big smile on his face, thinking how good a position he suddenly landed in. Right behind him is Timo Glock. Young German, 23 years of age. Jordan, Formula 1 driver, our test driver last year, in fact, jumped in and did 3 races. One of the few F1 drivers, there he is right there in the Rocket Sports cars, one of the few F1 drivers that scored a World Championship point on his debut in Formula 1.
And for A.J. Allmendinger, he's been struggling this weekend. Derek, he likes a car that does not push. In other words, that when you turn the steering wheel, it has a lot of grip. And this particular track, it's hard to get it tuned in. The Rousport team's been working and working, but haven't quite found it. Because of that, in a moment, he's going to come on pit road and pick up some fuel.
Right behind him, Ryan Hunter-Reay. He is in the predominantly black and silver car. Black and silver car. Auto Bytel is the backer for this weekend. Of course, it is the second of the Rocket Sports cars. Ryan Hunter-Reay, very much one of the stars of the future, just dominated on the oval track in Milwaukee last year. Saw him win his first race in Australia, driving for Stefan Johansson's team. Lost time on Friday with fuel pressure problems. He's right ahead of D'Amato.
And he's the guy they call Shorty, back after a couple of years in Formula 1. Cristiano D'Amato rides 11th, qualified 8th in the other PKV Lola. The other red and white number 21. D'Amato unaccustomed to running that far back in front of Oriol Servian.
Servia's having a pretty strong run here today. They again started quite late. He's got a new engineer, Kyle Brannon, who worked in Toyota Atlantic last year, so he's got a lot to learn this weekend. And Servia said the car's running pretty good, but we're struggling over the bumps a little bit, which is really hurting us under braking.
13th spot belongs to Bjorn Verdheim in the HVM number 4. Very impressive all weekend, but has not raced very well here today. Marcus Marshall is 14th, Jimmy Vasser is 15th, and we're back underway.
Junqueira, you see Junqueira right behind Paul Tracy. Here he comes.
Here he goes to the outside.
Tracy makes him work hard though, comes down the inside, not a block move, a defensive move, didn't change his line, made it difficult for Junqueira. Paul Tracy knew exactly what Junqueira was going to try and do there.
So now Bourdais gets his elbows up and hopes to build that lead once again. He's already opened up a couple of more car lengths on Tracy.
Yes, he has. Softer tires make that a bit easier. You got to be mistake-free here. Dominguez doing a great job. Wilson still hanging on very well. Hasn't been a threat, but just been quick enough to hang on. Calvin?
Checked in with Neil Mickelwright. He said we are very concerned about the pace of Bourdais with those red tires. This yellow has really helped us out enormously and cut that gap way back. So right now they're saying Tracy just needs to try and keep inside of him, and we'll have the advantage for that final stint.
Reason the yellow helps is Bourdais was running away. Yellow comes out, they all close up. The worst thing that could happen to Bourdais right now is he's going to try and stretch his legs, is another yellow comes out and wipes out a potential lead that he has built on.
A.J. Allmendinger has moved the Roost Sport car, the number 10, up into the top 10, up into 9th spot. He was the Roche Friends Rookie of the Year in 2004, bright young American hope, racing now out of Denver, Colorado. Terrific young man, former Toyota Atlantic and Barber Dodge Pro champion. The rookie standings last year from Roche Friends, Allmendinger defeated Wilson at the final race of the season. Roberto Gonzalez was third. Our continuing look at A.J. Allmendinger behind the wheel here at Long Beach. Earlier, a couple of days ago, Calvin Fish sat down with the 2004 Rookie of the Year and asked him some questions.
What is your favorite sport to watch other than auto racing?
Football.
Favorite actor?
Paul Newman.
Favorite city?
Surfers Paradise, Australia.
Favorite vacation spot?
Haven't ever taken one.
Favorite TV show?
Seinfeld.
What sound do you like? What noise, what sound do you like?
My engine starting up while I'm sitting in the race car.
What profession would you like to attempt if it wasn't racing?
Nothing else. I'd be a bum on the street because I don't know how to do anything else.
If heaven exists, what do you want God to say as you arrive at the pearly gates?
That was the best race car driver ever.
And he's got high hopes indeed this season, Derek Daly.
I want to ask Calvin some of those questions.
I'm not sure we can put him on TV with the answers, though.
That was good. I enjoyed that piece.
We'll see a lot more of that all season long as Bridgestone presents the Champ Car World Series powered by Ford. The Beijing logo's on the side of the Roost Sport 10 for Allmendinger, up into 9th position, chasing Timo Glock right now. As we watch the lead battle, this is Tracy Junqueira 3rd, 4th spot to Dominguez, 5th belongs to Justin Wilson. Rookie Ronnie Bremer has cycled up to 6th right now as they all chase Sebastian Bourdais. 33 laps remain here on the streets of Long Beach. We'll be right back with more on NBC.
Every team gets the same engine. So what makes the difference?
Drive fast. Really fast.
Driver motivation. Now that's moving you forward.
Damian Harrell. His magical hands have produced an AFL record 42 straight games with a touchdown and the league's best record. The franchise, Raymond Fillion and Chicago, ready to fire it up for the drive to Arena Bowl 19 Las Vegas. The AFL on NBC next Sunday, 1 Eastern.
Seasons in Champ Car history last year for this man, Sebastian Bourdais, and the McDonald's #1. He is your race leader. Started fourth, has played his pit strategy perfectly. He has the lead, trying to build that advantage over Paul Tracy. March may be over, the madness only beginning. Coming up in May on NBC, the top 64 poker players in the world gather for a one-of-a-kind tournament. Johnny Chan, Doyle Brunson, and other great stars at the National Heads Up Poker Championship. Join us on NBC for that Sunday, May the 1st. I don't know about poker, Derek, but they're playing their hand pretty well, I think, in Bourdais' pit area.
Absolutely. He is absolutely flying. He is standing on the gas here. He is just driving the wheels off this thing. When you're on board, you can see him making corrections all over the place. His dad, Patrick, is here for this weekend to see how the season kicks off. Of course, his dad is also a professional race car driver, still races at the Le Mans 24-hour race, where Sebastian grew up. That's where he lives.
Looking to the inside, Justin Wilson had a thought of trying to get by Mario Dominguez to take over fourth as they came to turn 1. That's Wilson in the Sandisk car. That's car number 9 for the Rousport team. A couple of Carlo Russo's entries. Take another look, Cristiano Damata, Jan Mikas.
And he has been struggling this weekend. They add some more front wing to the car. Cristiano Damata had such high hopes that our testing program went fantastic. They just have not been able to find the grip for some reason here at Long Beach.
Our Lucas Oil helmet cam with Damata on the rev limiter up through pit road, Derek. It's got to be excruciating to have to wait so long on a long pit road to get up to speed.
It is. What's more excruciating for him is the speed of the car. I mean, you come back from F1 2 years with such high hopes. They moved Jim McGee over because Jim McGee is the most experienced and successful managers of this type of racing. It just hasn't clicked yet, but don't bother. You won't have to wait too long. They will get this together. He will start running fast.
Now, Damata stopped with 30 to go. That should carry him to the end, and he's the first to do. Is he rolling the dice on strategy?
Absolutely. That's the only thing he could do.
So Damata should be good to go to the end here, and perhaps this will play to his benefit. He restarts, though, in 16th.
What he needs is a full course yellow, pack everybody up, send everybody to the pits. He's looking good.
Could happen.
He's gambling for track position here.
We've had 3 full course cautions already today, with 30 laps to go at Long Beach as we ride down the backstretch.
Look how bumpy this is on the way down the back straight.
Sebastian Bourdais continues to lead, almost 4 seconds ahead of Paul Tracy. Jean-Carré third, another 1.5 seconds past.
He is now just over 4 seconds clear of Tracy. The Bridgestone Reds were apparently worth about 0.3 of a second. It looks in race conditions that, in fact, Bourdais is even faster than just that 0.3 of a second.
Front straightaway. How about full throttle? Let's take a lap with Sebastian. Bridgestone Reds, so he may be able to build this lead further. 5 seconds is the advantage over Paul Tracy for Sebastian Bourdais. 27 laps to go on the Toyota Grand Prix of Long Beach. We'll be back on NBC.
What's holding you back? The always affordable Toyota Corolla S. Now that's moving you forward.
Need new tires? Get to the big Bridgestone rebate event for up to a $100 mail-in rebate on select Bridgestone tires, April 7th through May 7th. Only at your local participating Bridgestone and Firestone retailer. Wherever you see this Bridgestone sign.
The triumph.
And here is the first undefeated winner of the Kentucky Derby.
The dominance.
Smarty Jones, he's pulling away to win impressively here.
The heartbreak.
Bridgestone wins the Belmont Stakes.
Who will thrill us this year? The Visa Triple Crown starts with the Kentucky Derby, May 7th on NBC.
Welcome back to Long Beach on NBC Sports. He's Derek Daly. I'm Rick Benjamin. It's been a wild one so far, but it's been all Tracy and Bourdais.
It really has, and it's a bit of a surprise because Bourdais was only 4th in qualifying, and he didn't believe he had the speed to run with the Paul Tracy. As it happens, strategically, they've made a great move, but we don't know yet whether it pays off. Is he far enough ahead of Tracy before he goes on the slower Bridgestone tires? We don't know that yet.
Those Bridgestone Reds, the alternates, have paid off so far for Bourdais. This guy had a great opportunity Friday night. We're all pea green with envy, as they say. He got to visit the Tonight Show with Jay Leno, and there was another special guest in the house. Take a look at Friday night's action.
May the best man win. Paul, do you have any advice or otherwise for your man here?
Pray for your life.
Jay, you got...
Where did my high school buddies see this?
You got any life insurance?
Well, fine. I won't need it.
Okay, you only go on the green flag. Ready, go. Okay, who will win? Will it be the gorgeous sex symbol with the light blue eyes? Or might it be Paul Newman? Paul Newman is leading. That's down through turn 2. This is the home stretch here, down past Access Hollywood. Newman still leads. Look at Jay. Come on, Jay. Took that chin in. The aerodynamically be better. Newman still leads. The professional race car driver shows Jay Leno how this is all done. This is Telemundo right here. This is the checkered flag right here. Okay. Paul Newman manages to win.
In fact, Jay Leno's agent called Derek, and Jay's going on vacation this summer. I think you might have a second gig here.
You know what? That might be something, but I'll probably have my agent turn it down. you would think that's all fun. Leno practiced before Newman ever got there. Newman wanted private practice, not knowing Leno had already spent half an hour practicing. These boys went at it serious because Newman absolutely wanted to make sure he didn't get beaten by the non-professional race car driver.
Well, Jay Leno is truly a car guy. He's got a huge private collection, loves the sport.
Very much so, and to my surprise, I then went with Jay back to his warehouse where he's got more than 200 cars. He has, I think, almost 200 motorcycles. It was an unbelievable collection as Bourdais fights for control here, but an unbelievable collection that is like a museum. The beauty of Jay Leno and his car collection, he drives them.
Yeah.
He actually uses these cars on a regular basis out on the road. Really enjoys his car collection. Very fun.
Everything from modern equipment, a Ford GT, all the way to vintage machines.
Steam engine cars, race cars, McLaren Formula One, road car, the new Mercedes SLR. He's got everything. I love to see a man enjoy his passion like he can do and actually use them out on the public roads.
2003 Champ Car World Series champion Paul Tracy running second, 5.5 seconds now behind former champion, last year's champion Sebastian Bourdais. Here comes Bruno Junqueira running third. These two started on the front row this afternoon. Junqueira there in the Pacific Care number 2 in third spot. One car on pit road, Calvin Fish.
Alex Tagliani brings the Team Australia Lola in. That's very significant. Walker Racing have been running Reynolds for the past couple of years. And he's on standard tires, so he's going to be a bit of a disadvantage here for the final stint. He's used up his reds early, but the team are very pleased with Alex Tagliani this weekend. He said the team is gelling very quickly. They have a lot of test days left in this series. They're going to be strong before this season's out, Rick.
As we watch Tagliani, who won his first career event 1 year ago, 2004 at Road America. Here's Bourdais continuing to work on building the lead. Now, Derek, 23 to go. Cristiano D'Amata in danger. He's just a couple of seconds away from being lapped here. D'Amata rolled the dice on that very early stop. When the leaders, when Bourdais, Tracy, and Junqueira stop, they won't need anything close to a full fuel load.
No, they won't. But the real key will be, can Bourdais get in with enough of a gap, keep the lead on Paul Tracy, and give Paul Tracy an amount of work to do that'll be very difficult, despite the fact that Paul Tracy will be on the softer tires. But can you imagine Tracy on the faster, softer Bridgestone Reds running, trying to pass Bourdais in the streets of Long Beach, which is his favorite racetrack? Hang on to your hollyhocks. I said it earlier.
It should be a dandy battle as we get down, coming up 20 to go. Now, Bourdais made his last pit stop on lap 31, so he's 28 laps into this stint. He can probably go another 3, maybe 4 laps. We understand that Newman Haas has put new tires out on pit road for Bruno Junqueira, so we should expect to see the 2-car on pit road shortly. That's D'Amata there in the PKV number 21, the Bell Micro car.
And the chances are Tracy is going to have to peel off earlier than Bourdais. He has done more laps in this stint than Bourdais by dint of the fact that he stopped earlier. So Bourdais has it going his way right now, everything including track position when he comes back out.
As we see Junqueira running third, dive to pit road, final stop of the day. He's headed your way on Vicas.
And they have
hit your mark.
Hitting the mark.
Approach.
Hitting the marks is important. They're going to put red labels on.
Stop. Nice and easy. Hit your mark. Foot on the brake.
John Cizanikis on the radio. It won't take all the fuel. Remember, he doesn't really care for these tires like his teammate.
Hold it. Hold it. Hold it. Hold it. Hold it. Go, 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 go.
9.5 seconds. A nice quick stop. But remember, his car is not as comfortable as his teammate who will be here next lap.
Bourdais and Tracy still 1-2. Tracy pitted 2 laps earlier than did Bourdais, Derek. So what does that mean as we get to this last stint of the race?
I don't know, but Tracy's tires and Bourdais' tires are out over the wall, so they could well end up coming in on the same lap here, which will then give Tracy the rest of this race to try and run Bourdais down on the softer tires. I don't know who to give the advantage to here, but it could be good.
This is Tracy. We'll see if he dives from pit road this time. Here he comes. Bourdais evidently has snow. He's on pit road as well.
Okay,
Top 2 cars are on pit road. We're watching Paul Tracy.
You got to come around Mario's, guys.
Let's get it downstairs.
Paul Tracy brings it in. We expect a quick tire pressure change. Red's going on. This is going to be critical here.
Start getting ready. Start getting ready. Wait. Go, 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 go.
And at the very same time, we had a very quick stop for Sebastian Bourdais. And here comes Paul Tracy. He easily beats him out of pit road. A 10.5 second stop, everything routine. But remember, he is on the standard black sidewall Bridgestones.
And they're both on cold tires. Tracy is legendary for his speed on cold tires. He knows that. On this outlap, Tracy has to go like a scalded cat. He has to try and make up time on Bourdais. Oh, Bourdais gets stuck in traffic. Who that just went by him? Is that Junqueira?
Could be. We will try to get a look and see who's up ahead there. Riding with Sebastian Bourdais, who had been the race leader. He'd had a 5-second lead build up on the softer tires. That was Ryan Hunter-Reay, I believe.
Okay, so that will be a lapped car who will have to move out of the way. There's Tracy.
14.
It was 5.7 seconds when they went in. When they recycle around and go past the start-finish line, we will jump up on our monitor what the difference is. I wonder, can Tracy close it up on these cold tires on this outlap? Calvin?
Well, the key is going to be his teammate, Mario Dominguez. He had a very clean stop as well. They put a little bit more front wing into Mario's car. They said the car's handling well, just a little bit of push. We're trying to adjust to these reds. In qualifying, at least, the reds actually made the car go to a bit of an understeer balance where the car wouldn't want to turn on the early laps. They try and compensate for that. Let's go down to Jan.
And I'm with Kevin Kalkoven. There's been a big announcement today for Champ Car in regards to Beijing. What's the good news?
Well, the good news is that we signed a memorandum of understanding with the Beijing authorities to hold a race in Beijing in 2006 at a location that's only a few minutes outside the center of Beijing. And we think it's going to be a tremendous success, both for the series and also for our sponsors in China.
Now today I know your Champ Cars are not running how you want, but you had a great victory today. First woman to win a Toyota Atlantic race, Catherine Legg, excuse me. Right. You must just be thrilled.
Yeah, I was, and I mean, she's a great story because when we acquired Cosworth, I found her literally sitting in the offices at reception. I said, "What are you doing here?" And she says, "I want to race in Atlantics." What? But she was so persuasive and so professional that we gave her a test, and the test worked out well. And then I said, well, it's a good test. We'll give you a ride in an Atlantic car. And if you do well, we'll keep sponsoring you. Never for a moment did I think she would win. But she's a great driver. And it's a wonderful example of how determination and professionalism can get you drives.
And a good sponsor. Thank you.
Back on board, Sebastian Bourdais. Bourdais fourth after his pit stop with Paul Tracy. He came out with the lead. He's got about a 3.5-second advantage over Tracy right now, but they're in traffic. Ronnie Bremer has taken over the race lead in one of the HVM cars. Bremer in his rookie Champ Car start out of Toyota Atlantics. We just heard about Catherine Legg, who became the first woman to win an Atlantics race here this weekend a couple of hours ago. Here's Bremer, the HVM team. Now they're on a completely different pit stop sequence other than the leaders, but it may play to their advantage. He's on the Bridgestone Reds, the red alternate Potenza tires, and here comes Bremer to pit road, so he'll give up the lead under green, Calvin Fish.
And we expect no changes on Ronnie Bremer's car. What a day for this young man. Imagine leading your very first Champ Car race. They're taking the reds off, going to the standard tires, so we'll lose a little bit of pace here. But a great performance. The key for these young rookies is rolling out the physical stamina to get to the finish. 10.3 pit stop, a good clean run for the HVM team.
So Bremer up through the gears off of pit road with 17 laps to go in the Toyota Grand Prix of Long Beach. We'll be back in a moment with more coverage of Bridgestone presents the Champ Car World Series powered by Ford after these messages, and Al Trautwig with an ADT Security NBC Sports update.
I'm not saying that, I'm just saying, what? Oh man.
I ain't going in there.
We don't just make our trucks tough, we make you tough.
Meet Jessica. She owed taxes. She paid them through official payments. She received reward points, which she used towards this cozy little love seat. Nice love seat, Jess. Nice going. Then there's Harry. He also paid his taxes through official payments. He used his reward points towards a ticket to Hawaii. Nice trip, Harry. Nice going. This year, pay your taxes through official payments. You can use one of your cards. You may get reward points or even money back. Oh, there's a convenience fee. But oh, what great stuff you could get. Visit officialpayments.com or call 1-800-2-PAY-TAX.
Welcome to the ADT Security NBC Sports Update. Here's your host, Al Trautwig.
Welcome back to our New York studio. We'll get you back to our coverage of the Toyota Grand Prix at Long Beach in just a moment. In NASCAR today, the Nextel Cup race was at Martinsville Speedway in Virginia. Nextel point standings leader Jimmy Johnson and Jeff Gordon returned to the track for the first time since 10 members of their Hendrick Motorsports team died in a plane crash near the course last October. And it is Gordon that comes away with the victory. The Daytona 500 champion wins the 71st race of his career. Johnson remains the Nextel points leader. Gordon had fallen out of the top 10, but now he's back in the game into 6th place. In the NBA, the top two teams in the Eastern Conference met in Miami as the top-seeded Heat hosted the Pistons. Shaquille O'Neal missing his 3rd straight game because of a stomach virus. And in his absence, well, things open up inside. Ben Wallace with the alley-oop dunk. Tayshaun Prince attacking the basket. You get the idea. Miami, in the absence of Shaq, has lost 2 straight games. 87-2 the final score as the Pistons have a magic number of 2 to clinch their division. Now to the Arena Football League. The Philadelphia Soul struggled early in the season, fired their head coach, and now had won 3 straight, entering today's matchup against the Crush in Colorado. Over 4,000 made their way through a blizzard that's expected to dump 30 inches of snow in Colorado and Denver. Now, Philadelphia got stopped 3 times early in the game. They were chasing that all game long. John Dutton made him pay at his end, finding Andy McCullough. It's 49-42. Still in the fourth quarter, Dutton connecting with Kevin McKenzie to give Colorado a 14-point lead. They win by a final of 77-56, a franchise record 7 straight wins for the Crush. Meanwhile, Chicago and San Jose, the Rush had never beaten the SaberCats. That all changed today. Under a minute to go in the fourth quarter, Chicago already leading 41-33. Ray Filyaw finds Henry Douglas. San Jose narrowed it to 7, but this 10-yard pass to Raymond Filyaw sealed the game as Chicago beats the SaberCats for the first time, 55-39. That'll do it from New York. Now it's back to our coverage of the Toyota Grand Prix of Long Beach.
This has been the ADT Security NBC Sports Update. ADT Security Services, the world leader in home and business security.
Some of the sights and sounds of Bridgestone presents the Champ Car World Series powered by Ford on NBC Sports today. 1996 Series champion Jimmy Vasser is your leader with 14 laps to go. But he is on a much different fuel and tire strategy from the rest of the teams. As we mentioned at the top of the broadcast, Derek Daly, no mandatory pit windows today. Stop when you need to. Vasser elected to stop very early. He and the second place car driven by rookie Andrew Ranger probably need a gas and go. They may give up 8 or 9 positions here when they finally come to pit road.
This is Andrew Ranger here as a Canadian. This guy is spectacular. I mean, he is the type of driver. He's a bit like Paul Tracy. Move the women and children back from the front of the grandstands whenever he appears. He is that type and that style of driver. I am so impressed with what he has done with that new team this weekend here.
That is the MyJack Tide ride for Andrew Ranger out of Toyota Atlantic. John Beekus.
They've been cheering for him down on pit road. In fact, they've told him to use the Cosworth push to pass to try and see if he can get by Vasser even briefly, because they know if you lead the race, you get 1 championship point. They know when they pit, they're going to drop out of the top 5 most likely, but they're really wanting him to be racy, and they are very, very impressed with this young man in his first ever race.
But please, Andrew, drive around him, don't drive over him. I mean, look, he is just sliding this car around. Oh, Jimmy knows he's under pressure too. He locks up that right front. That's the lightly loaded inside wheel. When you begin to turn right, the inside wheel is lightly loaded. They can lock up. But Ranger beginning to put him under pressure here. This is Eric Bachelor's team. Eric's son, Elliott, is a go-kart racer, is not here this weekend because he's racing in Indy.
He's racing with many fine young drivers who we'll be hearing more from in the years to come.
Drivers of the future.
Vasser down the front straightaway. The PKB team has set new tires out for Jimmy, but he elects not to stop that time by. 12 laps to go here in the streets of Long Beach. Vasser, Ranger, and Sebastian Bourdais up to 3rd now. Bourdais about 5.5 seconds behind Ranger, 7 seconds behind Vasser. And remember, Vasser and Ranger on very light fuel loads compared to what Bourdais, Tracy, Dominguez, and Junqueira have now.
Ranger's going on the reds, so now he's potentially going to be even faster. Vasser right behind him.
Why wouldn't you roll the dice and go splash and go? No tires there.
Well, they will if they think he's going to be faster on these new reds, then they'll pull that on for him. Jan?
Well, we have the 2 cars together, both Vasser and Ranger, and Jimmy Vasser is going to do exactly what you said, Rick, no tires. They're just going to throw some fuel at it because we're so close to the end of the race. So we have 2 teams pitted right next to each other, one with the strategy for new tires, the other team for Jimmy, just a splash and go.
Vasser the leader, Ranger is second, Bourdais, Tracy, Dominguez. Bourdais got, what, 6-7 seconds over Tracy, who must have gotten hung up in traffic.
Yeah, Tracy has been nowhere near as fast after this pit stop.
Top 2 cars are on pit road. They're headed to you, Jan.
And as I mentioned, there'll be no tires for Jimmy Vasser. They're just going to get just the amount of fuel he needs to get to the end of the event. So it's all down to the fueler in this case. And we will watch over our shoulder also as Andrew Ranger pitting at the same time, but he's taking tire. While the strategy works, Jimmy Vasser is well underway, and they're still finishing the tire. Whoa! I'll tell you, when they get that thing on the rev limiter, you can feel the concussions down here on pit road.
Ranger brings the Tide My Jack car off the jacks, and heading up pit road behind Vasser. Bourdais takes the lead back.
Question before the race, would Ranger be physically fit enough to drive this thing? It's a heavy car, it's a very hot day. Long Beach is very physically demanding. He's 18 years old, he looks 14. He's driven Atlantic cars, so from what I can see so far, he is physically well able for the task at hand here. Great job by Andrew Ranger. Calvin?
Here with Neil Micklewright, GM at Forsyth, and you thought you'd have the edge here in this final stint with the Reds, but the lap times aren't showing that right now. Is it just traffic, or is Paul struggling with the car a little bit?
I think we're struggling with the car a little bit. I mean, obviously, and we've got some decent tyres on it, but I think the track's gotten a little bit slick. So right now, it doesn't look like we've got a good enough car to beat Bourdais, but there's still 10 laps to go, so we'll keep trying.
Long way to go. A yellow has certainly helped them out if they can punch them back up again, Rick.
That certainly would. Bourdais has retaken the lead, but there's trouble on the racetrack.
Oh, no.
Ranger has put the 27 car into the tire barriers. So on cold tires, just after that pit stop, fuel load taken, brand new Bridgestone Potenza Reds.
You okay?
Ranger lost it. Have a look at what happened. Oh, he had contact.
He got drop kicked by one of the HVM cars and just buried into the tire wall. What a shame for Andrew Ranger. It does cause a full course yellow.
And that will bunch the field up for the restart. Fourth full course yellow of the day. Jan Beekes, this doesn't help Sebastian Bourdais' cause.
No, it doesn't. I know you didn't want to see a yellow, Craig Hampson, but the car looks just perfect.
Yeah, we really kind of struggled all through practice and qualifying. We were fairly quick in practice, but in qualifying, we just couldn't get the balance and get the speed and get the car consistent enough. It looks like it's really good now, but yeah, I did not want that yellow at all. Without it, we were solid. Now Tracy's got a shot at us. We've seen him pass he's had a heck of a career on restarts and things like that. Let's say that. So Sebastian's just going to need to have a really good restart here, make sure he pulls a lead on him. And, well, maybe there'll be a car or two in between us. That would help, too. So.
Do you have power to pass time left for Sebastian to use as a defensive move?
Yes, yeah, we do have some push to pass left. Just got to be careful of PT. That's about all I could say.
Just remember, your teammate got beat by him before by not using it. You might want to consider that one.
Well, the race is almost over, so there's no point in having any left over at the end. So
I figured you say that. Thanks.
All right.
Okay, the advantage Bourdais has, he has 24 seconds. That is more than enough. Tracy only has 8 seconds. Tracy has one more squirt to the juice. After that, he's done.
All right, we will see how it plays out. 9 laps remain. Back with more. Bridgestone presents the Champ Car World Series powered by Ford at Long Beach. After these messages and a word from our local NBC stations.
Need new tires? Get to the big Bridgestone rebate event for up to a $100 mail-in rebate on select Bridgestone tires, April 7th through May 7th. Only at your local participating Bridgestone and Firestone retailer. Wherever you see this Bridgestone sign.
Every 60 seconds, something cherished is lost. If only the right equipment were made available, such tragedies could be avoided. They say miracles happen every day. Well, when it comes to tying it down and keeping it down, that's what the all-new Toyota Tacoma's deck rail system is. A miracle. It may be the most important purchase you'll ever make.
The 2005 Motor Trend Truck of the Year. The all-new Tacoma. Now that's moving you forward.
It is written in the Bible that one day the world will come to an end.
Christ will reappear, stalked by the Antichrist.
Could that day be here?
You have all made your deals with the devil, and he has come to be paid.
Revelations premieres NBC Wednesday, 9/8 Central.
Monday, starting live at 5.
a wife and mother battling terminal cancer. But through her fight, she's discovered a joy and comfort that's now helping other patients and families. Her story will inspire you.
Monday on NBC 30, Connecticut's news leader.
Is landscaping on your to-do list or your dream about list? Preferred Properties Landscaping in Cheshire can combine your ideas with those of our own award-winning landscape designers. Preferred Properties is an industry leader in design-build landscape construction. Whether you need a pool deck, patio, water feature, masonry, or greenery, we do it all and we do it right. Your landscape is a living investment that resembles you. That's why it should be cared for by the best. Preferred Properties, Route 10 in Cheshire. Indulge in a Preferred Properties landscape today.
Chevy trucks. From the family of the most dependable, longest-lasting trucks on the road, like Silverado, Colorado, and Avalanche. Trucks you trust day in and day out. Now get 0% APR financing for qualified buyers plus 1,000 hot button bonus cash on 05 Chevy pickups like Colorado and select Silverado models. Chevy trucks, an American revolution. At your Connecticut Chevy dealer.
Imagine someone you love had an accident. Now imagine no one gave the blood needed to save their life.
Bob's Discount Furniture reminds you that the need for blood is constant. Call 1-800-GIVE-LIFE today.
When news breaks, turn to NBC 30, Connecticut's news leader.
You're watching Bridgestone presents the Champ Car World Series, powered by Ford.
Powering through the streets of Long Beach with Derek Daly, Iberick Benjamin, Jan Beekes, and Calvin Fish on pit road. Round one of the 2005 Bridgestone presents the Champ Car World Series powered by Ford. Safety car remains on the course with 8 laps to go after Andrew Ranger got tapped coming into turn 7. His MyJack machine sliding into the tires did some suspension damage. Looks as though Ranger done for the day. The Newman Haas Brain Trust considering things. Their driver Sebastian Bourdais will be the restart leader, but he'll have Paul Tracy on his rear wing, Calvin Fish, because they're going to move the lap traffic out of the way. And we'll hear from Calvin Fish in just a couple of moments. Here comes Del Monte on the pit road, along with Nelson Philippe off pit road, actually. Philippe's car, the 34, the white and red MyJack car, damaged earlier. They had to put a new nose wing on that race car. All right, Calvin Fish, what does Paul Tracy need to do here?
Well, he needs to get the jump on Sebastian, I feel, at the start. That's going to be critical. Sebastian, even though he's on the other tyres, seems to have the edge right now in this final stint. I spoke to Neil Mickelwright. He does have some of that Cosworth power to pass left. I spoke to his teammate, Mario Dominguez, Mike Pulowski, who's his crew chief. I said, does he have any left? He said, we are tapped out. All he has right now is a lot of ambition.
And that can be enough. Look at the numbers, Derek Daly. Sebastian Bourdais, 24 seconds of Cosworth power to pass. Tracy only 8.
Which is also an indication of how good Sebastian Bourdais' car has been. He hasn't needed to the extra 50 horsepower. But Marcus Marshall in the Team Australia car is between Bourdais and Tracy. If I was him, I'd wave Tracy by because, I mean, you can just get stomped on so easily here.
We were expecting to see Marshall asked to move over and allow the lead lap cars to have clear racetrack. We're hearing that perhaps he'll go to pit road this time by. You can see Tracy sneaking a look inside as they come down the backstretch, thinking he needs to jump around Marshall very quickly. When they come to the stripe, lights are out on the safety car, looking for a restart. There'll be just 6 laps to go, about 12 miles to settle it here in the streets of Long Beach.
I wouldn't bet against Tracy, but I don't think he has the speed, and Bourdais now has done this so many times. He understands what these restarts are all about. He's already pulled a couple of lengths here. Marshall is in Tracy's way.
Marshall's headed to pit road.
Green.
Yeah.
6 to go as they come to the strike. Bourdais jumps to a significant lead. Not on power to pass.
Doesn't even use it. Oh, Junqueira down the inside of Dominguez.
Third spot, Dominguez tries to come back at him.
Wow, a Tracy type of move. You don't often see Junqueira do that in the opening laps. Great move, though, to put Newman Haas's cars first and third as we speak.
Tracy runs second. That drops Dominguez back to 4th. Fifth belongs to Justin Wilson, who's quietly hung around the top 5 all day. Timo Glock 6th, Ronnie Bremer 7th, A.J. Allmendinger 8th, Alex Tagliani 9th, Jimmy Vasser, who led with 14 to go. He's back in 10th after an early stop.
Justin Wilson in that Sandisk car really has had a great race. No mistakes. He stayed where he needs to stay. Wasn't quick enough to run with the leaders. There he is right there ahead of his teammate. But he has run very well.
Down the backstretch into turn 9. Riding with Wilson through the left-hand sweeper that takes you to the hairpin, puts you back onto the front straightaway. There'll be 5 laps to go this time by. Crossing his hands.
Notice the way, different driving style. Crosses his hands completely over, as opposed to Bourdais, who puts both hands at the bottom and then winds the wheel around at the hairpin.
Bridgestone presents the Champ Car World Series powered by Ford. We'll be back on NBC.
The rotary-powered Mazda RX-8.
Jack?
The way you feel about sports cars will never be the same.
Wonder what it's like being an old guy. Age gives you wisdom. And age makes you wear your pants up around your head. Anyways, I got wisdom now. I go to McDonald's, hit that dollar menu, get the McChicken sandwich, fries, save all kinds of money. That's young guy wisdom. And these are young guy pants.
Right on target. Now you can target only your gray hair with Just for Men. In 5 easy minutes, it replaces gray with subtle tones for a natural look.
You're right on target.
Right on target. Just for Men, the Rejuvenator.
Start the day with a splash. Rain on the blue. Oh, she touches your skin.
It just feels better with an Aqua Velva Man.
Fuel economy like a car. Cargo room and versatility like an SUV. The totally new Ford Freestyle. One vehicle, endless possibilities. Ford, built for the road ahead.
Tonight starts with an all-new Criminal Intent. A monster with a craving, turning beauties into beasts. Then on an all-new Crossing Jordan, a serial killer set free.
All the victims were dark hair.
And he's chosen his next victim.
Like you.
All new NBC Tonight.
Our coverage today of the Champ Car World Series on NBC Sports being brought to you by Bridgestone Tires, a passion for excellence. And by Toyota. Choose any direction as long as it's moving forward. 3 laps to go through the streets of Long Beach with Derek Daly, I'm Rick Benjamin, Jan Beekes, and Calvin Fish have been on pit road all afternoon. And Sebastian Bourdais from 4th to 1st, Derek Daly. He's got almost 3 seconds on Paul Tracy. Calvin Fish, Bourdais got everything going his way.
He does. It looks smooth sailing out front, but Mario Dominguez is really struggling. We saw him get jumped there on the restart by Bruno Junqueira, and recently Justin Wilson has got around him, pushing him back to 5th spot. He's really a sitting duck. We talked about the fact that he had no Cosworth powder pass left in his tank, so to speak, so he's just been sitting in there on the straightaways. Those other guys have 50 more horsepower. And Justin Wilson, well, he has the most experience of anyone with using that situation. When he won the Palmer Audi Series over in Europe, they had a similar technique to give the guys a little extra booster in the race.
Now Justin Wilson can be plenty proud. Just before we went away to commercial, Wilson snuck by Dominguez and took over 4th. Here's Junqueira, bottom of your screen, in front of Wilson, 3rd and 4th. Now here's Dominguez back in 5th. He's got his hands full with rookie Timo Glock with 2 to go.
Last 2 laps, the 2 fastest men on the racetrack, Bourdais and Justin Wilson in that Sandisk car. So Justin Wilson closing now on Bruno Junqueira, but I don't know. There he is right there. Look at Wilson now closing up right behind him.
This is for 3rd.
He's looking good here, Wilson is.
Bourdais with a 3-second lead over Paul Tracy. They'll see the white flag next time by. Champ Car World Series moves to Monterrey, Mexico, 3rd week of May.
You see Wilson just balanced his car all through the corners. The car slides, he balances, he gets on the power, turns it in, balances it again.
What makes these so entertaining race cars, Derek, is you can drive them with the throttle at times.
Absolutely you can. Yes, you can.
Today, coming to the white flag. 1 lap to go for the 2004 Series champion.
There's second place Tracy. There is Junqueira Wilson. So in the brake zone is where Wilson has looked very good over the last 3 to 5 laps. Can he close up here?
Battling for 3rd, here's Wilson. He's moved the Sandisk number 9 to 4th spot. He's still about 5 car lengths behind Bruno Junqueira.
Realistically, the back straight is the opportunity, probably the only one left. But he's got to be quick through here on the next left and right-handers. He's not close enough. He is not close enough.
You've got to be able to get off the corner better than the guy in front of you to make a move, especially on a slick street course like this.
And on the last lap, Wilson again was the fastest car on the racetrack, even faster than Bourdais and Tracy.
To the back straightaway, final time around the streets of Long Beach. Sebastian Bourdais, 7 wins in 2004 on his way to his first Champ Car championship. Bourdais about to open 2005 with the drive from outside row 2. Started 4th this afternoon. Coming to the stripe, J.D. Wilbur waves the checkered flag over Sebastian Bourdais, the winner of the Toyota Grand Prix of Long Beach. Paul Tracy checkers in 2nd spot.
We'll need that when we get to Monterey.
Bruno Junqueira gets 3rd. Justin Wilson comes home 4th. Mario Dominguez 5th. Rookies Timo Glock and Ronnie Bremer finish 6th and 7th. There's Tracy alongside Bourdais. They congratulate each other. A.J. Allmendinger comes home in 8th spot for Rousport. Jimmy Vasser is 9th. Cristiano D'Amata 10th. Oriol Servia, Bjorn Verdheim, Ryan Hunter-Ray, Alex Tagliani, Marcus Marshall, Del Monte, Ranger, Felipe Sperfico. We had 11 lead changes among 8 drivers today. Now the series takes a break for 6 weeks while we have a timeout. Bourdais is about to serve up some donuts here to the fans. 3rd week of May, we'll move from Long Beach to Monterrey, Mexico. Great battle there 1 year ago. Jimmy Vasser was involved with Alex Tagliani. Some side-by-side involving Paul Tracy. But at the end of the day, it was Sebastian Bourdais bagging his first win of the season on his way to a championship. It's the Tecate Telmex Grand Prix of Monterrey on the 22nd of May on Speed Channel. Check your local listings. Donuts from Sebastian on the menu at McDonald's tomorrow.
You know what? They look pretty good. Yeah, those donuts are okay.
He had a lot of practice last year.
Yeah, the French guys can do croissants at times, but they've had a bit of practice. They're not great, but they are okay. But what a great performance he has had this afternoon. Just awesome.
And the Newman Haas team extends their run of dominance in the Bridgestone Presents the Champ Car World Series, powered by Ford. So Bourdais wins the opener in 2005. On his way, perhaps, to back-to-back titles, we shall see. But Tracy, Junqueira, Wilson, and Dominguez will be among the drivers nipping at his heels throughout the season. And a great rookie run for Timo Glock.
It really was. We didn't see him quite feature why we thought he would all through the race, but to come home 6th in his first race, to run as well as he did in practice and qualifying, they will leave with that Rocket Sports team very, very pleased. I will bet they will taste champagne before too long this season.
Rookie Ronnie Bremer comes home 7th for the HVM team, so Bjorn Verdheim must have been the car that was involved with Andrew Ranger. There's A.J. Allmendinger. He got up to 8th in front of Vasser and D'Amata. Servia. There's Ryan Hunter-Ray back in 13th. Marshall gets 14th. Tagliani struggled late in the day. Del Monte, Ranger, Nelson Felipe, 18th, 19th to Ricardo Sperfico.
And only 2 cars out of this opening race of the season.
Very durable. Heading to victory lane, Sebastian Bourdais, the winner of the season opener, the Toyota Grand Prix of Long Beach. 31st annual running of this great event. Huge crowds all weekend long. Well, more than 100,000 fans here today, and they watch the virtuoso performance by Sebastian Bourdais. Well, for Jan Beekes, Calvin Fish, and Derek Daly, we thank you for joining us today. I'm Rick Benjamin. Be sure and stay tuned for your local news, except on the West Coast. You've been watching Bridgestone Presents the Champ Car World Series, powered by Ford on NBC Sports. We'll talk to you next time.
So give my best.
his match.